Yo guys, welcome back to the Transfer Daily YouTube channel, and we are back now with the consistent uploads. And now 30th of June, I'm expecting the window to be very active in the next week because we know the PSR books reset now, so I'm expecting it to be very active in the next week. But starting off with Bayern Munich then, and Bayern Munich are preparing to send their opening bid for Nufc, the striker from Germany. We know he played in the Nations League recently, but also he performed very well in the German under-21s for the Euros. So Bayern Munich have him. And one thing we know is Bayern Munich have already agreed personal terms with Woltemade for a 5-year deal. And Nick Woltemade wants to join Bayern Munich. But, as we know, Stuttgart do not want to lose a player. So it will then take an important fee for Stuttgart to sell Woltemade, and let's see if Bayern Munich's opening bid, but also Bayern Munich are not prepared to overpay stupid amounts, and there has been reports of a €100 million price tag. That isn't the case for that one, so you're probably looking at Stuttgart, I'd say probably wants €60 million around that fee, and I think Bayern will want cheaper, so let's wait and see about this one in the next few days after Bayern send the opening bid through. A quick one then on Bolker, the Nice goalkeeper, and he's been linked with many clubs, and Sunderland open talks with Nice, but they haven't agreed personal terms. Sunderland actually are advanced on the fee of around €50 million. But one thing we can say is Saudi side Neom SC are closing in on the signing of Bolker, because Bolker is considering it seriously to join the Saudi club because obviously they're offering a better wage, etc., than Sunderland. So they are in advanced talks there, and the fee is already agreed between the two clubs. Virtually, there's just small details left. So Bolker is closing in on a move to Saudi despite Sunderland trying to sign the goalkeeper. Another goalkeeper then is James Trafford, and Newcastle United are now closing in on the signing, and we know for Newcastle it's been a very frustrating start to the window, but James Trafford, long-term top target for the goalkeeper position since last summer, is probably now going to join Newcastle United because Newcastle United are pushing to complete the deal soon, so they might reach an agreement, Burnley and Newcastle, this week potentially, after them two clubs are just sorting out small details between them, and the agreement will happen. So it looks as if Newcastle United will get the second signing of the summer after Cordero in James Trafford, long-term target. And as I've said, Newcastle United, you see, Arsenal's now starting to get more active in the transfer market. But this one I expect to be a done deal in the next week or so. So then, Bayern Leverkusen starting to spend that money they got off Florian Wirtz, and Malik Tillman is set to join Bayern Leverkusen on a permanent transfer from PSV. And what can we say on this one? So the verbal agreement is in place for a total package around 35 to 40 million euros. And I did say on X last week that Malik Tillman is seriously being considered by Leverkusen, and now the agreement is done. So next up is the medical test, and then Tillman will sign a long-term deal, which I expect will be a 5-year deal to become new Bayer Leverkusen player. And a thing to note on this is that Bayern Munich have a buyback clause on this one also, so if the transfer works out, Bayern can bring back Malik Tillman, but Tillman will join Leverkusen. An actual date on the medical test I don't have for you at the moment because obviously the Golden Cup's going on with the US. So let's wait and see. But Kwanzaa expected to sign his contract today or tomorrow after he completed the first part of his medical test earlier on. And Tillman will be next up as new signing for Erik ten Hag. Pedro then is set to join Chelsea on permanent transfer from Brighton, and Chelsea with this one very quickly. So yesterday it was confirmed that Chelsea do have strong interest and are pushing for the signing of Pedro. We know Newcastle had 2 bids rejected, but with the Newcastle one thing I can say is that due to Alexander Isak being at the club, João Pedro wasn't really open to the idea of joining Newcastle despite the 2 bids rejected, and he was very keen on the move to Chelsea, and Chelsea do have an agreement in excess of, it's a £60 million package, 55 million up front, initial fee, and then 5 million in add-on, so 60 million, and Brighton and Chelsea do business once again, and João Pedro will join Chelsea's squad for the registration period that comes up for the second bit of the Club World Cup. So he is flying over to the US today, I believe, after the medical test took place in Brazil, and he will sign a 7-year deal to become a new Chelsea player, and he will join with the squad for the Club World Cup. So Chelsea with another signing, another attacker may still happen because Chelsea is still looking at the market, but let's wait and see. But João Pedro joins Chelsea from Brighton for £60 million.